Hi, Michaela from Hack Your Closet.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to have you here on my Refashion podcast episode today. And I am very excited to talk more about with you about circular fashion, clothing rental, and even personal styling services that Hack Your Closet provides.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Then, Michaela, let's just start with a brief introduction and introduce yourself and what is Hack Your Closet.
So thank you so much for having me. It's great talking to you. And Hack Your Closet is on a mission to reduce waste in the clothing industry. And we do this by taking clothes out of the waste stream and prolong their life. So it could be secondhand clothes, it's pre-loved items, overstocks from different brands, and we match those items with our customers' style profiles and send them 4 items that they can enjoy for a month or longer if they want to before they return them to us. And then in the end of the month, we send them new options in a new box. So it's a fun way to update your wardrobe, but still in a sustainable way, and it contributes to a fashion industry and a world with less waste.
Awesome. I think this initiative is so great. And I have only heard about similar initiatives across the Atlantics, but nothing in Europe or in
Yeah.
Scandinavia.
Yeah, I think same. I mean, we are quite new. We have existed for 1.5 years. So we started in June 2019. So I mean, the concept is pretty new, but I'm hoping for that it's gonna grow and that we're gonna see more actors in the industry as well.
Absolutely. Michaela, tell us, what is fashion to you personally?
Yeah. So fashion for me, I mean, I rather talk about style than fashion because fashion for me is something very short term, and fashion and trends comes and goes. So style is something that remains and that is timeless and that is very personal and that reflects who you are as a person. Your style says a lot about your personality and your lifestyle. So I would say that style for me is a reflection of yourself.
It's a really good one. I can only agree to you that with the fast changing fashion trends, it's hard to keep up. As, of course, it gives some opportunity to express yourself
Yeah.
in different ways. But I think it's so crucial to find your unique style and stick to that. And then when the trends come, it's easier for you to choose what really fits your lifestyle. But
Yes, very true.
how was Hack Your Closet born? What was the idea behind it?
Yeah, so the idea came from my co-founder Lisa, and she has a long experience in the fashion industry and also from the secondhand market. So she felt like there was something up with the fashion industry that she wasn't aligned with. Um, and she didn't have the same values. So she moved towards the secondhand market. And in the same time that she was looking more into the secondhand market, she also moved to Sweden. Um, I mean, Lisa has been dressing in secondhand since she was little. Her grandfather was a person who sew clothes, and her mother was very into vintage and retro style. So she has been growing up with secondhand in back of her mind all her life. But when she moved to Sweden, she realized that the secondhand market is huge here, and you can find so good items, good quality, and high-end brands secondhand. But she didn't understand why people don't buy only secondhand or more secondhand, why people are so into fast fashion, because she really saw that there's gold in these secondhand stores and nobody is mm, purchasing them. So she found out these problems, like it's very time consuming to shop secondhand. It's very difficult. You have to be in the store and know what to look for to find your style and your size. If you're going to shop secondhand online, it's very difficult as well because the pictures are poor in quality and it's hard to know what you actually get. Often when it's like peer to peer, there's no quality checking. So she thought, okay, why don't I make a service that reduces and that takes away all these customer frustrations and that gives you, that facilitates everything for you so that you can just enjoy clothes and express your style, but in a sustainable way. So that's how the idea came up. We find the clothes for you, we style you, we wash the clothes, we send them to you, and you can just enjoy them and send them back in the end of the period. So that's really how the idea was born.
That sounds like a dream come true, at least for me, because I myself, I also grew up in a close relation to secondhand market because I just found better clothes there, to be very honest.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with the struggles of spending much more time, and sometimes you have to tailor your clothes from secondhand places afterwards. So you have to have some basic sewing skills as well.
It takes time to learn how to secondhand shop for sure.
That is true. That is true. Actually, I have visited Stockholm, I think once or twice in my life, and I also was very, very pleasantly surprised with the secondhand market there. And I myself have found some really good deals. Um,
Yeah, I love secondhand shopping because it's a treasure hunt. And honestly, before I entered Hack Your Closet together with Lisa, I didn't do much secondhand shopping at all. She taught me how to do it, and now I think 70% of my wardrobe had turned into secondhand, and I always only shop secondhand if I ever shop because now, of course, with the company, I have a huge wardrobe where I can borrow clothes at any time. So it's a big benefit, and yeah, I really like it.
Absolutely. And how many hackers or the subscribers, as you call them, do you have right now?
So we have about 1,500 customers right now, closet hackers, as we call them, in Sweden. And currently, we're only operating in Sweden. But of course, we are looking to go into other markets as well in the near future.
All right. So, as a person in Sweden, I create a profile in Hack Your Closet. And what comes after that? Or how does the whole signing up process take place?
Yeah, so exactly. You as a wanting to be closet hacker, you go into our webpage or download our app and you go through a style survey where we ask a lot of questions about what you like, what you don't like, the cuts, the attributes, your sizes, and your height to know a bit more about you so that we can choose the right clothes for you. When your style profile is created, you can also upload inspirational pictures to express your style more in pictures. And you can also call our stylist to tell us about your style with words, which is often easier. Then we match your style profile with the clothes that we have in our closet. And we do this partly by data driven algorithms and also with our personal stylists that gives you a personal touch and make sure that your box feels very personal and that we listen to your feedback from the previous boxes that you've had. So that's basically how we choose clothes for you, and then we pack them for you, we steam them, we send them to your door, and after that it's your turn to give us feedback. You go into the app again and you can rate the clothes if you didn't like it, if you liked it or loved it, and the size as well, how you felt that the size was, and also you can leave a comment about your overall experience with the box.
I see. And then I get to keep the items for around 4 weeks. And after that, I can order a new box. Is that how it goes?
Yes, so it's a subscription, so you don't have to order a new one, but we will change your old box to a new box after 4 weeks. So the only thing you have to do is put your clothes in the box and leave the box outside your door, and our distribution partner will come and pick up the old box while leaving a new at the same time. So you'll always have a Hack Your Closet box at your home.
Wow, that sounds very great. And if I wanted to keep the clothes for longer, can I do that?
You can do that, of course. It's €3 per item per month to keep it for longer, and you can keep it for as long as you want. But I assure you that eventually you will get tired of the clothes, and that's why we don't allow anyone to purchase the clothes. Because
Right.
then they're gonna end up in your wardrobe, and we want to still have the responsibility of the clothes. So we challenge you. You can keep it for as long as possible, but I think that you're gonna be wanting to change it up for something else.
Right. How many clothes do I get in one box?
You get 4 items per box.
Mm-hmm. And do I get to choose what I want, like tops and bottoms or dresses?
You cannot choose what you want, but we always provide a mix. So, or you can actually in your style profile say if you want a mix of items or if you want a full outfit. Uh, and if you want only basics or if you already have basics and want complementary items. So it depends on what you tell us. And of course, in your feedback, you can wish for, okay, only send me only sweaters, or I want a dress for New Year's. I want a skirt to go out now in summer. So it depends on what you want, but usually for the first box, when we don't have any feedback, we send a mix. It could be one bottom, one dress, two tops, or one top and a jumper. Yeah, a mix.
That sounds really great. And then you can take it from there, just try it out, see what goes, what doesn't work, and share the feedback. And I think I saw that you can also exchange one box if it completely missed out, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So the first box is of course particular because we don't have your feedback yet. So it
Yeah.
could be harder to style the first box. That's why we always offer a new box for free if you weren't happy with the first one.
Right. So you mentioned that this is the biggest shared closet in Sweden.
Yes.
How many items do you have on your platform? Have you ever
Oh,
counted?
I don't even want to think about it. We have about 15,000 items right now.
Wow.
So it's really, really cool because, I mean, we only have about 20% of those items actually in our closet,
Mm-hmm.
as most of the clothes are out at our customers or in transportation. So you think of 15 item as a huge closet, and it is huge, but we don't have the clothes all the time in there. Luckily,
Luckily.
they're rotating all the time.
Okay. Do you cater both men and women?
We only cater women at the moment. We have had a lot of requests from men, and we would love to start for men as well. But unfortunately, as it looks right now, the secondhand market is not as great for men as for women, as we tend to buy much more clothes and also update our closets much more frequently.
Mm-hmm.
And also good news for the guys, they tend to really use their clothes until they break. They tend to really, really use them for long, and also buy more quality clothes, I would say, as well.
Versus women who like the diversity
Exactly.
more.
And we want to keep that diversity, and we want to keep that it's fun to update your closet, and you should be able to update it whenever you want. But we have to do it in a sustainable way, because it's getting out of hand, and so many items are wasted before it's even used once. So yeah, we have to rethink a bit how we continue to update our closet in a fun way.
That's so true. And you actually touched one of the main concepts of sustainability, I would say. There is this bias that um, all the sustainability advocates would encourage people to stop buying, stop using, stop, everything is bad, just stop doing
Mm,
things, versus what you suggest is that
mm,
um, you don't stop, but you give a diversity and you give an opportunity to cater for the need of diversity and still keeping our life excited, but as you mentioned just now, in a much more sustainable way. And you say also that it helps save time, spend less, and at the same time, of course, it helps to drive change. So how is it that we help to save time and end up spending less at the end of the day?
yeah, so you're so spot on, because I mean, I think that nobody wants to stop doing what they love. Some people love shopping, and or some people like want to update themselves all the time. It's the same with personality. You want to grow, personal growth. You want to develop yourself all the time, and your clothes reflects who you are. So of course you're gonna change style over the years as well. So yeah, we have to find ways to be able to do that, and renting is a good option. What we mean with save time is that you don't have to spend time in looking for clothes that are going to match your style and size, and you don't have to sit for hours browsing on internet to find the styles. And often you get like very overwhelmed when you're going to shop, because there's so many options, and also so many brands. So yeah, you save time, but just letting someone else choose clothes for you. And spend less is because we have a subscription for 29 euros per month, and you get 4 items. So that's basically the price that you pay for one clothing item.
That's true. That's true. Especially if you are used to go shopping at H&M, for example, that's how much a pair of jeans might cost, but that wouldn't be the greatest quality, I would say. So with this subscription, you really get a good value of money for your clothes, and then you never run out of new outfits.
Yeah, and actually the average spending per month on shopping
Mm-hmm.
for women is between 70 to 100 euros. So
Wow.
you can really save money by like subscribing to one of these services.
Right, right. I can definitely see the financial benefit in that too. And then it's a bit of an excitement to see what will you get in your box when you don't know what the outfits will be, but you definitely know that this is something which is sustainable, which is better for the environment.
Yeah, our customers say that it's like a Christmas present to themselves every month. So they think it's so much fun to get the box and be surprised and see what someone else have picked for you. And if you still have this mindset in mind that those items are there to prolong their life, and they're valuable, and someone has handmade them, then you really see the urge of trying to style them and trying to use them as much as possible when you get them.
Totally. I think it's also a bit of a different approach to the clothes that they receive. Then they also try to maintain them in a better quality and wash them more carefully because they know that it will come back to the system and someone else also will be using them.
Yeah, we try to educate our customers on how to take care of their clothes. Of course, we wash everything when between every rotation, so they don't really have to wash them at home. But if they want to, we teach them sustainable ways to do that, and also how to hang them carefully, and so that they know that someone else is also going to use the items after you.
Nice. It sounds very great to me. Both educational part, but also, um, you know, enjoying the clothes that you receive and then and wearing them in a better way. And I was just thinking as well, what are the clothes that you receive in the first place? Is it a partnership with some retailers or charity organizations? Or is it second users who gave their clothes to you to support your purpose?
So in the beginning, we actually went physically to secondhand stores and bought as much as we could find that could fit our customers' style profiles. This was, of course, before Corona and also in the beginning when we didn't have so many customers. Right now, we have more collaborations with charity organizations. We also do some secondhand shopping online, and we also collaborate with brands that wants to reduce their overstocks. And these brands they are like committed to reduce their overstocks and do something with those clothes. So we share the data on customer preferences that they can use to prevent waste in the future. So they can see, okay, average women in Sweden, they don't like purple and lace. So we won't design a dress with that is purple and has lace on it. Stuff like that, so that we can prevent waste from ever happening.
That sounds really great. And it is usually the biggest problem, overproduction. So, by being on the other side, when you deal with the waste and you get the feedback and you get your data, it seems to me that you actually get back to the very beginning of the system and get the inputs to solve the problem from the very first place.
Exactly. And there we come to circular fashion. I mean, we're really able to close the loop.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving value to waste, and we're trying to design out waste from the whole value chain of the industry. So we start with the end, but we are trying to go more and more to connect the dots until the beginning. um, yeah, we're not there yet, and we're trying to go there. So we're looking for a partnership with brands and with everyone in the clothing industry, really, to because circular fashion for me is really about system collaboration, and we need to cross collaborate between all the actors in the value chain to be able to make it really a closed loop.
You're so right. Yeah, when we think about circular fashion, it's not only about making the clothes on subscription, renting the clothes. It is also not only about fixing the clothes when they break, but it is a lot about stopping overproduction, catering to consumer needs and their demand. And then after the whole usage cycle, whatever the item went through, maybe it was rented, maybe it was given to a friend, maybe it was resold again, fixed, mended, resewn again. How can it enter the system back? Because now we have still a huge loophole in the recycling system. It's not perfect. There are some great ideas to be developed. And I actually know that a lot of research and development is being done in Sweden. Um,
Yeah.
do you stay in touch with the biggest organizations in Sweden with the recycling institutions and alternative fibers?
We have some collaborations with researchers that help us really connect the dots across the industry and help us set up collaborations with other clothing brands or even other rental subscriptions. But also to reach out and say like, okay, what should we do with the items that we can't circulate anymore?
Right.
Because now it's a big questions in the industry, and there's so many items that are produced that can't be recycled because they're a mix of materials. So it really requires a technique that we don't have yet. Um, so it is challenging, and right now we have different ways to go to make use of the textile, at least even though we can't circulate the item anymore, we can still remake it into something else. We can send the natural materials to recycling centers, as you say, and also we can of course send it to industries that need the textile to stuff things like furniture and anything that we can actually, so that we can actually use the textiles a bit more instead of them ending up in a landfill or being burned, because that's really really the worst, and we should really try to design that out.
Absolutely, absolutely. You just briefly mentioned also some partners or some brands that you work with. So, on that regards, what are the brands that people can expect in the shared closet?
We have everything from mid-end brands to high-end brands. You can expect everything from H&M, Zara, Pull&Bear, I mean, Gina Tricot, everything on the mid-end, and then up to the high-end. Like right now, we have a lot of Swedish high-end brands like Philippa K, Wired, Dagmar. So yeah, all the range. So we really try to mix also the brands inside the box. We can give a mix of two mid-end and two high-end, or yeah, we really try to do it as a mix.
All right.
We focus
How?
more on the style and
Yeah.
the material than
Mm-hmm.
the actual brand.
Because also sometimes H&M garment could be very good quality, right? It's not
Correct.
necessarily that the brand would define right away.
No, I wouldn't say so. And I think every brand right now in the industry are really working on making the best out of their situation and what they can. So yeah, I think that everyone is really progressing, and we're gonna see a huge change in this industry, which is so
That's
much
true.
fun.
Yes, it is. I'm very excited to see what's coming up next. And I was also wondering how important it is for you to have sustainable brands in your closet. Is it even feasible yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really important for us, of course. We want to work with partners that have the same values as we do.
Hmm.
Um, the problem that I see is that we only work with clothes right now that are overproduced, or um, that is part of the waste stream, and we want to save the clothes from the waste stream. So often sustainable brands tend to not do so much overproduction and tend to only produce the items that are actually sold. So in that case, we don't have any partnership today with any particular sustainable brands per se. But of course, it's possible to use our service as well um, to try out trends or try out collections
Hmm.
to see if they will actually work for the consumers. So you can always try out the collections with us first before you produce, so that we can prevent producing anything that nobody will like.
I see. So it's very great platform to experiment and get the first consumer insights.
For sure, for sure. We get a lot of feedback from the customers. They're really,
Wow.
really interactive with us. So, and that's obvious as well because they want our stylists to really send them clothes that they will love. So they're very keen on giving us all the feedback that they can.
That's true. And in terms of a personal stylist, is there a way for me as a closet hacker to talk to your stylist and ask for a digital review of my wardrobe and ask how can I style my clothes better? How can I integrate the pieces that I get into the ones I have already?
Mm. So yes, you can always make an appointment for a personal call with your stylist, and it's always the same stylist that is styling you, so that the stylist can follow your journey and take in the feedback. And I'm sure that, or I know that our stylist remembers almost all the names of the older customers, so it's amazing. Uh, so fun to see. But in order to like know how to style your items that you get, we have a private group on Facebook for all our closet hackers that wants to join. And there you can share a picture of the item that you don't want know how to style them, and the community of closet hackers will comment and will help you, give you styling tips. You can also, there's so many who are taking picture of how they style the items together or part, item by item.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of customers, a lot of closet hackers, they comment like, oh, that was so nice and I should change that belt to a thicker one, and gives like styling tips on how to style the items. So there you can get a lot of inspiration.
Awesome. Is it then a likelihood that someone who already had the item will share their look with me when I get the item afterwards?
Yes, that happened actually yesterday. There was a closet hacker who shared a picture of a yellow jumper, and there was another one commenting, "Oh, I had that in the last month box. I styled it like this. You should try this." So it was really, really fun to see.
Nice. Very
We collect
nice.
like a history for the items.
Yeah.
So we can go back later and see, okay, this yellow jumper was styled in this way by this customer. So we have all the history of the items as well, which is really fun.
That is very fun. And then you collect such a great database to um, proceed with the suggestions and outfits further on.
Yeah, we have a huge database with feedback on items, on 15,000 items.
It's amazing. I can only imagine this will grow through time as the customer base will grow because you said it's only 20% of the items that you actually have. So, meaning that if more people will join, the bigger the community, the more clothes for the closet you will have.
Yeah, I mean, we only have 20% of the clothes in our closet right now. The
Yes.
rest of the clothes are at the customers' houses and in transportation. So yes, I really hope that we can grow this into a lifestyle, really.
Mm-hmm. Totally. I can definitely see that coming into life. Do you also rent some accessories like belts and earrings and shoes, hats?
We do have belts that we usually send with items that either have the belt as a natural accessory, or that we see that it could be better styled with this belt. So that we send a lot. We do have some smaller bags as well that we can send as an extra accessory. We don't charge anything for that. It's just for fun right now. We do have some bracelets, and but we don't yet work with earrings or with necklaces, especially now during these times, because They have to be washed in a certain way to be hygienic. So no earrings and no necklaces and stuff like that yet, and no shoes neither. But who knows?
And why no shoes?
Shoes are very heavy for our small boxes right now. And also, we tend to use our shoes until they break. So it's hard also to find secondhand shoes in good condition.
Yeah, you're right. You just mentioned the whole transportation and cleaning the clothes after each use, making sure that they are well packed and delivered. Would you say that styling, the side of styling, is 50% of the business, and 50 other percent is all the technicalities around the whole delivery of the garments?
Yes, definitely. They work together. The item goes through the buying team and then it's washed. Then it goes to the closet where it's picked for the stylist. And then in the end, packing. So it really goes through all the stages of the operations that we have in house. But of course, to have a rental service is very challenging for the operations. Um, we do have our laundry and our washing in house. We don't outsource anything, so we do everything in our warehouse.
Why do you say it's challenging as for the operation side?
You have to be able to keep track of the history of all the items, the history of all the customers. It's important that we don't send the same item to the same customer 2 months later. So it's complex like that, but it's all about organizing data in the correct way so that everything is traceable and trackable. That is something that I think the clothing industry as well is focusing on a lot, traceability across the value chain. How can we track back items by their history? Where were they bought? Where were they produced? And so on. So we have developed that technology in-house, and it's a technology I think can be used also in the industry in different parts of the value chain. So it's really, really interesting.
Totally. And talking about the industry in general, do you think the circular fashion and clothes rental, can it become a mainstream thing, and can it become a part of big fashion brands such as H&M, which also originates from Sweden, or some other big chains?
Yes, I think that we need to transition this type of service and also this type of lifestyle into a big scale for it to really change the industry. We can't do it on a small scale because that won't change anything. So we need all the actors, the big actors like H&M and everyone to be on board on this. Um, Whether they're gonna do a rental service or whether they're gonna partner up with the rental services, that's another question. But I think that everyone is going to try it out sooner or later, either by themselves or with a partnership. But it's definitely something that has to be done on a big scale.
Absolutely. I totally support this idea. And I think there are different actors to contribute to the change, such as fast fashion brands, luxury brands, government, consumers, media, education. It's a complex system, and every part does its own job into increasing the awareness and encouraging people to choose more sustainably, to be more conscious about their purchasing habits. And hearing that you already have around 1,500 people, subscribers for your business, it seems like it was already a very welcomed idea, at least in Sweden. So how was your experience from
Yeah.
the very start?
I know that Lisa started with about 10 customers from her living room, sending the boxes from her living room. And now, 1.5 year later, we are 1,500, as you say. So it has been a really good growth journey. Uh, Also, regarding this 2020 year with the pandemic and everything, we have been affected by it, but we have still been able to grow. So I think that during this pandemic as well, people have started to really think about their consumer behaviors and habits and trying to really just spend on things that really matter and be careful with their spendings and their costs. So I think it has been an eye opener for everyone, and sustainable businesses are the ones who are gonna thrive and who are gonna grow after this pandemic as well.
Absolutely. But have you noticed a trend that people actually started subscribing more of your business? Because it seems to me that we stayed at home, we wanted more diverse clothes, but we couldn't go outside and
Mm.
purchase them.
Yeah, we have experienced both people who wants to change their consumer behaviors and want to spend less time. They don't want to go to stores, so they rather have the clothes sent home to them. Of course, some customers have said that I don't have use for the clothes, so I don't really need this type of service. But most of the customers have actually said that it's fun to change. They only want tops from now on because it's fun to change top when they have their Zoom meetings or when they have digital meetings. So they still want to look good from the waist and up. So we have listened to that, and we have sent the customers mostly tops and jumpers and dresses.
That's nice. Yes, it's so good that you have such a close contact with the subscribers, and it's so great to hear that your business have both sides. A very data heavy business side where you keep track and you are being transparent and you interact with the customers, and then you have this personal touch, so it's not just a system, it's not just the app. You listen to them, you have a conversation, people can have an online discussion with the stylist and have a human touch, even though it's virtual, because I believe you cannot go to physical places and meet everyone in Sweden. So,
Exactly. We still value the personal touch the most. Actually, it's the most important thing to us, that we feel that the closet hackers feel that they're listened to.
mhm.
So we really want to keep that personal touch as much as possible.
Sounds really great. And do you have any plans of growing into neighboring countries or some other places?
Of course. We are looking to expand to 7 other countries in Europe before 2025. That's our goal. So we'll see. We're gonna start trying out in different countries, and then we'll see what works, where it works, where the markets are mature enough for this type of service and this type of life changing consumer behavior. So yeah, it's gonna be very, very interesting to see the different approaches in different markets.
Absolutely. And so far, you have the customer feedback and database in Sweden, right? It's not really that you could transfer the knowledge into another country. What I mean is that if you go to, for example, let's say Spain, you have to understand what is the customer there, right? What are the preferences? What are the measurements of the people there as well?
Yes, I think the overall feedback from how the service works and the user experience is gonna be similar, but in
Mm-hmm.
terms of style, it's gonna be different. Of course, we have the big brands, the global brands like Zara, H&M, and all of them are in different countries as well, and they have similar collections, but they always change something to fit the specific country. So I think we're gonna have to do the same in terms of styling. We're not gonna send anything from Sweden to other countries, so we're gonna build everything from scratch, like local hubs in the countries. But of course, we have all our software and our programs, and everything that we have built already is going to follow us.
That sounds like a good idea. And I think popping up the business in different locations will really help people to experiment and open their eyes and just play around a bit more with style at a lower cost for the environment, and still have this freedom of expression. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. How do you know if the country will be ready for such a change?
We need to do market analysis, both on the consumer side of it, but also how the society looks like in the specific country. We have to look at how high on the list is sustainability, how much is it valued, how does the consumer behaviors look like right now in the country, how far has circular economy and other type of sustainable economies come in those countries. That's going to depend a lot on if we can build collaborations there that are going to sustain, how we're going to approach different collaborations as well in different countries. And of course, how the fashion industry and the fashion market looks like in the country. Is secondhand a big thing, or do we have to focus on other parts of the waste stream?
Right, right. When I think about fashion and the whole hotspot of the fashion trends, the three countries come to me is Italy, France, and the UK. I think these are the hotspots, but it's not necessarily that it is the hotspot for sustainability and sustainable fashion.
Mm.
Am I
Mm.
correct in that regards?
Yes, I think you're very correct, and that's why we need to take that in consideration as well. I think France is a great example of a country that has come far with both circular economy and also fashion. So that's definitely a country that we're looking at. And of course, the other Scandinavian countries that also have come far with sustainability. We'll see now what happens with the UK and Brexit, if it's even possible to do business there. But we'll for sure keep an eye open, and we're open to any types of opportunities.
That's true. I think it's great to keep your eyes open for opportunities, and maybe even for some of the emerging countries. What I could share from my side, I myself come from Lithuania, and we have
Mm.
Vinted, if you've heard of it. This is the
Yes,
second.
very big.
Yes, it is. But it also grew from a very small community, and
Mm.
I happen to be also a part of it as a
Really
user.
cool.
And now they are taking over the world.
Yes, they're amazing. I mean, they're really really big, and I think everyone in the industry knows about them.
Do you see that, for example, a company like them, could they also integrate some kind of rental service, or is it a bit far-fetched to think about that?
I mean, they can always try. I would suggest to partner up with us or with like that already have it in their backbone,
True.
because rental services is a complete other service than a linear one. So you have to think in a circular manner as well. It's not something that is going to work if you just do it as a part-time project on the side. So I think the whole business model is really a circular one if you want to do it. But yeah, partnering up is always a good idea.
I totally agree to you because I think it's usually underestimated that the whole structure is different, and as we already talked, is it is including the ownership of cleaning services and making sure about transportation and like stylist services. So it definitely seems like a completely different business stream, and it seems to me as well that partnering up is a better approach also because you as Hack Your Closet have the expertise who have already established your connections with people, and you know how to approach, especially if talking about different markets, as you said, that it would remain the same, the user experience would remain the same, it would just have to be adjusted to the local markets.
Yeah, and I think one other thing that is really something that circular business have to build is a community with their customers. Because in linear businesses, once the product is sold, the relationship between the business and the customer ends. So in circular businesses, as the product circulates between many different customers, and it always comes back to the company, you have to keep up the relationship between the customer in a complete other way. So you have to build a community, and it's much more about the why you're doing the business, what is your purpose with it, that is going to build this community rather than what you do or how you do it.
That's so true. Yes. I think it's hard to imagine for majority of us how it actually looks like because it's just not really present. It's not really
Mm.
mainstream yet. But with the good initiatives just like yours, I think it's yet to come, and then we will be changing our mindset towards that. And it's great to see that a lot of people are already a part of this great change, and they are very enthusiastic. They are willing to collaborate, talk about improvements with you, and share their positive feedback of what is already working. So it's really great to hear that you had such a good start with such a fast growth rate, and it seems that you are just keeping it forward and growing further.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, we're trying to do our best, and we really wanted to grow and to change the industry for good, really.
That's so true. How about we move to one of the final parts of our conversation, and that would be five statements that I would like you to finish, and I would take them one by one.
Right.
Awesome. So let's start with the first statement. To me, sustainability is.
Love for the planet.
Oh, that sounds so great.
Yeah, because I think that it's not about saving the planet, it's about loving the planet. And if you love it, then you won't do any harm to it.
That's true. And planet meaning everyone, people, animals, the physical surroundings that we have.
Yes,
All right. One thing I would like to see more of in the world is.
collaboration, I would say. Less competition and more collaboration. Actually, the word competition means strive together. So it's in a sense means collaboration. But
Okay.
I think the word is negative in a way. Competition, it could be good as well, but I think collaboration is a better thing to strive for.
Absolutely. And in the landscape of circular economy, as we talked about, it's key. We have to have a community, we have to
Mm.
have collaboration and partnerships to actually make it work.
Yeah, nobody can close the loop by themselves. We need the whole industry to close the loop together.
That's so true. That's so true. But for a complete beginner in the sustainability area, what would you suggest to start off with?
Know your facts, read, and or listen to podcasts for that matter. The more knowledge that you have about sustainability, the better choices you will make. So I think that it's really important to collect knowledge first, and then the choices that you make will come naturally.
I can totally agree to that. I think knowledge is power. All right, the next one. Every sustainable business.
Is on the right track.
Nice.
I think sustainable businesses are the leaders, and
Do you-
they're of course the ones who are gonna sustain.
of course, I think so too. It's the inspiration for other businesses, for the traditional businesses, and it's a bit of a wake up call for them to ask themselves, where are we? Are we in the line with the new trends? Are we in the line with more regenerative decisions for our economy? So I think it's really nice to see the small businesses popping up with all the cool initiatives, and to see them grow, honestly, and then inspire all the big businesses to do better for the environment.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
All right, the last question. In 2 to 3 years, I see Hack Your Closet.
Opening up local hubs across Europe.
Yes,
Mm.
that's exactly what
That's
we
gonna be
need.
exciting. Yes, it's gonna be super exciting.
Super exciting. What
Mm.
is the first country that you are targeting or you considering?
We're considering both France and Denmark right now. Maybe entering them at the same time, or we try first in one and then the other. But that's the closest to our business and to our hearts right now. Lisa is French, and we have a lot of French people in the company as well. So it's a very like close to our hearts country.
That makes sense. I think it's always best to start with things that are most intuitive and then expand from there. So it
Yeah,
sounds super
and
great.
as I said before, like the fashion industry there, and also the circular economy is really big there. So I think that it makes sense.
Definitely. Michaela, is there anything that we haven't touched upon in our talk yet?
I think we have gone through really interesting topics, both like system thinking and also narrowing down to what Hack Your Closet is all about and why we do things. So yeah, the only thing I want to say is like you need to change a system, you really need to think in systems.
Right. How can a regular person start doing that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that it comes also with experience. You have to step out. One good thing is to when a problem appear, you ask yourself why that problem appeared 5 times before you get to the root cause of the problem, and that's what you base your solutions upon.
I think that's a really good one. We usually tend to face the problem and try to run away or hide away from that, but stopping for a moment and asking yourself, but why did it happen, what could be different, and being honest to ourselves. No one needs to hear the answers. It can be something as intuitive as the first thought, even though it might seem scary or uncomfortable for us. But I think if you stick to the first thought that comes to your mind after asking why, and you just probe deeper, just in your own
Mm.
mind, you don't even have to talk with anyone, you might come down to some really good insights, which might change the the approach and how you do things in life. And I only wish that we will have more of those thoughts popping in people's head.
Yeah, definitely. Like all the choices that you make in life, but also when you look inside yourself, like, why did I make that choice? And ask yourself why also 5 times, and you will realize if it was a good choice or if you have to change your habits.
That's true. And especially if you are thinking of buying a new item, ask yourself why? Why do I need it? Do I
Yeah.
really need it? Maybe I can just
Is there
go and
other
rent
options?
it.
Exactly, exactly. And I think if you ask that question, why, many times, you probably realize that you don't need it, and it's a maybe not so good choice to buy it, but instead realize that you still have this urge of wanting to update your closet and wanting something new because, I don't know, you feel boring or you're not in the mood for anything that you have in your closet. So is there other options out there? It could be lending, renting, borrowing, there's a lot of options out there. Remaking your own closet.
Absolutely. So, on that note, I would just like to encourage everyone to take another look into a wardrobe, question themselves before making another purchasing decision, and most importantly, think of alternative solutions and spare a moment to look for them. So, Michaela, thank you so much for introducing Hack Your Closet for us. It's been my absolute pleasure to have you here on the Refashion podcast with me.
Thank you so much, Indra. It has been my pleasure.